Hello, Haley here. I am so glad that you are watching this because I'm going to show you super quick, easy ways to validate and pre sell your offer so that you don't waste a bunch of time, energy, and money doing it the wrong way. I have done this myself. So let me just say, I'm speaking from experience here, and I don't want you to waste a ton of time building all the things up front to maybe not see the results that you had hoped. So, you might know what I'm talking about if you've ever launched something before that didn't quite land the way you hoped. Maybe you heard crickets and nobody bought, or you had a few bites, but not enough to feel like it was worth all the time, energy, and money that you spent. So, chances are it wasn't the timing or the algorithm or all the other things that we chalk it up to be. The biggest reason I see things not landing is because of the messaging and the way that we're positioning the offer. A lot of other things have to do with it, like making sure we're in front of the right audience and that the right people are seeing it. But a big part of it is our messaging and the way that we are positioning the offer. And so there's a few key things that you might have missed that people needed to hear and see to be a heck yes, I am in. And so, what I want to show you today is a smarter, simpler way to validate and pre sell your offer before you build the entire thing. And, or if you're thinking about dusting off a new offer and starting to put it out there, this works for that too. But a lot of times I have clients that are switching from they are busy with one on one clients, and now we're creating a group program, a community, a membership, a mastermind, so that they're able to serve more people, still give that high value impact, but with less time and calls on their calendar. All right, let's get into it. So, chances are you have this document right in front of you. And so, the fastest, most effective way to validate your offer is by connecting directly with the people already around you, your warm audience. So, a lot of times that I do this is two ways. You can pick one or you can pick both. I love number one, validating through conversation because it really allows me to sit down one to one on Zoom and ask questions, really engage, figure out how are they talking? And this is with the ideal person, right? I have built this program with one of my clients in mind, maybe several of my clients in mind, and I want to make sure it's the right fit for them. So, what you're doing is look at who's engaging with your content, or do you have maybe past clients that could move into this offer? Or do you have just people that have been circling around, you've had conversations with, but maybe they haven't quite jumped in yet? Are there people who are responding to your posts, asking questions, or just showing signs that they're interested, but you haven't been able to connect with them? This is a great way. So I typically start by sending them a personal message, whether email, Voxer, DM, voice note, and say, something like, I'm thinking about creating a new offer and I would love to get your feedback. I've designed this with you in mind and I'm still shaping it, but your insight would mean so much to me. So, no pressure. Just wanted to make sure I'm creating something that's actually helpful. And if it feels like a great fit, I can share a little bit more. So, what this does is you're not cold pitching someone, you're really inviting them to a conversation to co create with you. People love giving their opinion, they love giving their advice. And so, this is a great way to get someone on the call. So, you get to hear their real time questions, hesitations, objections, things that would make it a total heck yes, no brainer offer. And often, what happens is if it feels aligned, you can end up enrolling them in your program right then and there, even though it's not built. Or once you have all these conversations, you go back and you're like, look, there is a need for this. It sounds like everybody wants it. So I'd love to offer you a chance to get in as a founding member with special pricing or with some incentive bonuses, something like that. You can really pull them in. And this makes it a much easier sell. And so I have created a list of questions in here that you can ask them on the call. You don't need to ask all of these, but these are just really helping you to Understand the problem, how they talk about the problem, get clear on what the desires and the outcomes are. Like all of this is messaging gold, right? And so we're really understanding not only their problem and desires, but what's their learning preference? How do they like to learn? Do they like to be on live calls? Would they rather it more self paced, group, hybrid? How are they wanting to learn? What do they most likely go after? I love designing hybrid programs so that it's a little bit of both. We still get that live support every other week or once a week, but then a lot of what they're doing is on their own time too, so they can fit it into their schedule because so often people are busy. And so if they can do things on their own time rather than having to be there at the set time every day, they make more progress, they see results. I love the hybrid model. So these are just some questions that you can ask that I think really are helpful on the call. Make sure you record a transcript or take really good notes because we are wanting to match exactly what they're saying on the call if and only if they are the ideal client for this offer, right? We want to make sure who we are talking to is the ideal client for this offer because that is what is going to make it messaging gold for your offer. And everything you'll use in your launch comes back to what your ideal client is saying and how they are saying it. Okay. So that is the way number one. Number two, to pre sell with a live workshop. So if you love connecting or teaching live, this is another amazing way to validate and pre sell at the same time. So you can put out a workshop to the audience you already have on your email list, on your social media accounts, like wherever you're showing up. You can create a live workshop or webinar where you would then sell this at the end. So you're going to host a short live training, keeping it very relevant to the transformation that your offer delivers. I like to make sure that this is giving them a quick win relating to your bigger offer. So they now need the rest of the offer in order to get the full result. What you're giving them in this training is one tiny little piece of it. Okay. And so this works really well because you, again, like a live conversation, you're hearing in real time what their answer or what the questions are, their hesitations, their objections. And then you're able to take that and insert that into your messaging on your sales page, in your emails, in your social media posts. Everything that you're then doing for your launch can be based on what these people are saying. Granted, again, it is your ideal audience that is on the call, right? So you don't need, when you go into this live workshop or webinar, it's a way to pre sell, it's a way to validate the offer. You're saying, is this something that people really want? So, your goal from this one workshop is not to sell out your full offer, but maybe to bring in one or two people, right? And so, you don't even need the full program built. You just have to have clarity on what's the transformation, the final outcome that they're going to get from being in this program, the structure. So, like I said before, is it hybrid? Are there live calls, modules? Have just an idea of what the structure is going to be and then when it begins. And this is important because a lot of times maybe it will begin in a month from now because now you need time to build it, do all the things. You can bonus them in a live call to kind of give them momentum, get them moving, and give them some type of value from now until when the offer starts. So they feel like, yes, I just made a good decision. I made this investment and they can get started right away, even if you haven't started the program. And this works good with an extra one on one live call or a group live call, just some sort of kickoff. Or if you already have some other material created that they can get started on. I think by doing this type of workshop, it can not only help get clear on different messaging like we talked about in the one-on-one, but it's giving you credibility. It's another way to show up in your audience. They get to see you, experience you. They get to see you show up and how to see if it's a fit and it aligns with how they want to be talked about, how they want to get to the results that they want. So I think that it is a really powerful way to validate and pre-sell the offer. And it gives you space to build as you go because you're getting that feedback like, what would be important to include in this? And if somebody's saying, oh, I wish it had this, you're like, Perfect. And you can add something like that in. You get to do it on the spot because you haven't already spent all the time, energy into building every single thing. We want to make sure it's actually what they're saying they want versus what we think they want and need. Okay, so those are just a couple of ways that you can validate and pre sell your offer before spending all the time and money actually building it out. And so here's what I tell my clients a lot of time is you don't have to build it in a vacuum or do it one way that everybody says you should do it. Build it in a way that feels aligned with how you want to show up and with how your clients want to be served. Don't have to do it alone. Your best messaging, your clearest structure, your most magnetic positioning is not something you figure out by just staring at your laptop forever, 4 hours, or going at it alone. So often we are so inside of our own businesses that it's hard to see from the outside in. So we need that outside perspective from our ideal clients, from other experts that have done it, been there, and have made all of the mistakes first so that you don't have to. Have real conversations. So, from listening, responding to what people are saying and what they actually want, having conversations inside the DMs, emails, voice notes, going back and forth with these people and really diving in, figuring out the way that they are talking, how they're talking about their problem, their frustrations, what they've tried before, and what hasn't worked in your offer, in your messaging, and your positioning. So the best part is like you don't need to build all the funnels up front, anything like that. You just get to test it out to see if it's worth your time and also what to include so that when you are ready to launch and build all the things, you have people either already sold into the program or really, really warm people that are going to be a heck yes when you put it out there. So just get your idea out there, find those already around you, and start to test it out. So, to wrap this up, if you want to launch something that actually sells, start by validating it through real conversations or a live training. Use their language in your messaging and invite them in before it's perfect. Because when you take the time to really position your offer around what your people are actually asking for, the launch gets way easier. The conversions go up and the process feels so much lighter. You got this. And if you want support from an expert inside my accelerator, I help you do exactly this. Validate your offer, refine your messaging, and sell it. From the lead generation all the way to the sale, you have everything you need in order to do your validating pre-selling. We do your initial launch and then we turn it evergreen so that you're not having to launch over and over again. So when you're ready, I am here for you. I would love to have you join us inside the accelerator. And of course, by all means, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, email, wherever works best for you. I am here for you. Thank you.